Hello everybody and welcome to my new series. What we're looking at right now is a little sketch design I did a while ago about a side project that I'm planning to start working on. We will look at it in details in a moment, but now let me tell you briefly what this is all about, what I plan to be used for, and the technology stack I will use to create it. Okay. As we see here, the project is called Library Hunt. And as the description says, it is a copy of Product Hunt, but for code libraries. One would go to the application to advertise its library or to find recent, top-voted libraries and would also be able to filter and search. Here are the technologies I plan to use. For the frontend I will go with Vue. And for the backend I will choose Node.js with Express and Mongo DB. I choose all of those because these are the libraries I am most familiar with. Let's talk about the base features of the application. Basically, we will have two types of users. Logged users and guests. Guests could only see posted projects and filter them by name, category and so on. Logged users will be able to post new libraries, edit or delete their libraries, comment on posts, reply to comments, like comments, up and down vote projects, and edit their profile information. Okay. Back to our sketch. This on the left will be our home screen. It will contain the search field and the top voted daily libraries displayed as cards. On the bottom will be our application bar. Clicking on some of the cards you will be navigated to the second screen to view its whole content. You would be able to comment and upvote the post. See others' comments and like or reply to them. By clicking the plus button displayed on the middle of the bottom bar, you will be navigated to the third screen where you can create a post. You would be able to choose from already defined categories or create a new category. They will basically work on the principle of hashtags. The description text area will provide the possibility to write markdown and preview the output. Of course, you will also be able to log in and edit your personal information or your posted libraries. Next, let's talk frontend. On the left side we see the official documentation for the Vue CLI. If you haven't yet installed it, you can do so by pasting that line in your terminal. You create a Vue project by calling the Vue create and the project name. Being in the libhunt folder, I will call it frontend. We are now in the Vue command line interface. Using the arrow keys, navigate down to the manually select features option and press enter. Now using the select key, navigate to the highlighted options and press space to select them. Once you're done, go to the next step by pressing enter. Here the CLI asks you which version of Vue you would like to use. I will go with version 2, so I only press the enter key to go to the next step. At this point it doesn't really matter where we choose the history mode of the Vue router or not. This would be helpful later on when deploying the application. Still, I will choose to use it now. I will pick less as my CSS preprocessor. Again, navigate with arrow keys and press enter. ESLint plus Airbnb config is what I choose for my linter configuration. And I would like to run the linter on every file save. I would like all of my configurations to be in dedicated files so I can keep my package file clean and simple. At this point the CLI asks if you would like to save this configuration as a preset. I will say no as I have already saved similar. Now the CLI will generate your project. Depending on your machine, it may take several minutes. Moving on, we should now add Vuetify. Head over to their documentation and we see that we can add it using the CLI again. Call Vue add Vuetify in your project directory and that's it. Just go with the default settings here. Now fire your favorite code editor and open your project. Open the terminal and serve the project. This page is what Vuetify auto-generated for us. Let's see the structure in more detail. In the views folder we will add our files that will be used from the router when a URL pattern is matched. The files that we will add in the views folder will correspond to the views from our sketch. We will have home, view, add, login and so on. In the components folder I will create two subfolders, core and main. In the core folder I will store components that are more general. For example, the application bar, the root view of the app and other containers. I will also create wrappers for some of the Vuetify components which will be used around our application more often, so I can configure them through the wrapper component. In the main folder I will store components related to the business logic of the application, like library postcards, comments cards, lists, profile and so on. As we saw from the sketch, we will go with the mobile-first approach and will develop the app for small screen sizes first. I will now create a dedicated component for the application bar to be placed at the bottom, as I plan to later create another one for the desktop version which will be placed at the top and probably will have different structure. I will then conditionally render both components based on screen size. Okay. That seems enough for now. Let's move on to the main view. I will make a file in the views folder named home and add it to the configuration in the router folder. I will wrap the new view in a vContainer tag. Our home view will contain a list of cards in the search field. Let's create the component for the library postcard. I will just copy the default sample for the vCard component from Vuetify samples page. Later on I will adjust its content to our business requirements. Moving on, let's add the text field that will serve as search and filter. Most probably this component will route us to a different view where we could apply more filters, but for now it's enough to just place it at the top. The home view seems to be done also. Let's move on to the view that will display only one project selected by the user. For this, I will rename the auto-generated file, named about, to just view, and will update the router configuration accordingly. I want it to be rendered whenever the following pattern is matched. We will later use the ID parameter to fetch our data when the view is created. Now let's create the structure of our view. I will start top to bottom and will first create the button for the back navigation and for voting. Following with the card for the library information and the comment button. Let's now create the section that will hold the comments. Again, I will start by creating a new subfolder in the component's main folder. Name it comments and add commentcard.vue file inside. We will need the profile avatar next to the profile name layout often in our application, so I will also create a reusable component named profile card in a new subfolder, profile. Okay, that's all for this episode. Stay tuned for what is up to come. In the next episodes we will work on the other views, the backend, the deployment and scaling of the application. Comment down below what you think about the idea. I'm open for any questions and recommendations. Thanks for watching, and please smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Happy coding!